I made a lot of money keeping rentals. Why didn't I just do that?
This is Josh Villarreal, and he's going to tell us how he went from joining the Navy at the age of 17 years old to take care of his family in the Philippines to becoming a multi-millionaire at the age of 25 years old, all while active duty Navy. And he's going to tell us how you can too. All right, Josh, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Can you kind of give a little introduction for yourself for those that don't know you?
Yeah, my name is Josh Villarreal. I was in the military for 7 years, U.S. Navy. I was stationed in San Diego, and then I've been on an entrepreneur journey for like the past 7 years as well. And I've done anywhere from flipping phones, going on Craigslist, buying and selling stuff, to now owning four businesses, and one of them is real estate that I am in love with. And yeah, just full-time entrepreneur. I was born from two hardworking Filipino immigrant parents who landed in LA, so Los Angeles, California. I lived there for about 17 years until some unforeseen circumstances happened with my family, to where I was like, all right, I got to be the breadwinner now, because my family had to go back to the Philippines. As a 17-year-old kid, what is something that I could get a decent paycheck in, and I'll get paid every 1st and 15th? My bright mind was like, oh, let me join the military. Big ass decision for a 17-year-old. So I ended up signing and joining the military at 17. That was one way for me to help them. And I saw the military was a great platform to start that.
Yeah, and then going into that, what was your job in the military? And like, can you kind of talk about your Navy experience?
I came in as a deck seaman. Do you know about that? What a deck
I
seaman is?
don't.
So basically, during MEPS, they're like, "Oh, there's this job that you could get. You could do OJT, on the job training, and then you could pick any job that you want once you're in the fleet." I'm like, "Oh, that sounds great. Can I get it?" It's like, "Oh, let me see. Let me see if I could get that for you." But basically, I ended up signing up for it. And I ended up going to their fleet, and they were like, yeah, I lucked out and got this thing. And then everyone around me started laughing. And they were like, bro, you know that thing is open like all the time because no one wants that job. I'm like, no. So a deck seaman, basically you work for the deck department. They're kind of like the grunt workers. Like they take care of the boats, they sweep, they paint, like all the hard labor stuff. So I was an E1 in deck, and so that's pretty much the lowest of the low. So yeah, it was very labor intensive during that time.
What job would you have wanted in the Navy though?
So one of the jobs that I saw that paid really well after was air traffic controller. So I was like, yo, if I could get air traffic controller, that would be pretty sick. I ended up not getting it. Even though I did score like a 72 on my ASVAB, but there was only like 5 jobs that were available to me at that time. One, because I wanted to leave in the next 2 months. Like, so that was one of the things. Sometimes for a better job, you gotta wait like 8 months sometimes. But I got the next best thing, which is operational specialist. It's kind of like an air traffic controller, but you know how there's like LCACs and like amphibious like tanks rolling out of like back of the ships and stuff and doing land attacks or whatever. So I'm the guy on the mic telling everyone where to go, and then also helos.
I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
Yeah.
And then going more into, your Navy experience, did you personally like it? What was the rank that you got out as and like some things you wish you did differently?
So I got in as an E1. I was hoping to get ranked up during boot camp because I was a section leader and all that stuff. But that was my first taste of politics, man. As you know, there's some politics in the military. Yeah, I came in E1, so I had to do all that waiting, all that rank up, all the way up to E5. So I got out as an E5.
And then like pretty much just like how was your overall experience with I know you mentioned
Oh
politics,
yeah,
but was there some things that you liked about the Navy or some things that you didn't necessarily like about the Navy?
yeah, I love the camaraderie. Like that is something I definitely miss. Because you're going through it with a whole bunch of people that are going through it the same as you. So you kind of build a bond. And then a lot of people don't know it's when you join the military, it's not just a job. Like it consumes everything that you do. Like you are the military now. So when you're on deployment, especially, like you're gonna eat, sleep, work out, party, just do everything with your team. So the camaraderie is like one of the strongest things that I've experienced in the military. Some of the things that I didn't like, it actually happened during deployment. where I was at a point where I was like, man, I'm staring at a screen for 16 hours a day. Can't read a book. I can't go on my phone. And I'm just staring like I'm on watch, right? I'm just staring into the abyss. Like, yeah, it's my job, but I kind of had that inflection point where I was like, is this all I'm going to do in the military?
Yeah, and kind of go into that because you're freaking working 12-hour shifts and then you got the next 12-hour off, but not really off. So how did you kind of start your entrepreneurial? Like what kind of drove you to, do your e-commerce, do your digital marketing, your stocks? Was it just like, let me just try to do different stuff and see what works and stuff like that? Could you kind of go into that? And like, how did it work with being in the Navy too?
Yeah, so it was two things, financial and then my purpose. First, on the financial side, I found out being at E1, you only get paid 1,200 bucks a month, bro, because there's no housing allowance, there's no nothing. So once I got in, I don't know how much it is now, hopefully a lot more, but $1,200 a month was not enough for me in San Diego, let alone my family. So that's why I started in the first place. And then funny thing is with the psychology class that I took, so I learned about I think it's Maslow's hierarchy. Basically,
Mm.
it's once you reach a certain level in like you have your housing paid for, you have your shelter, your food, all that
Basic
stuff,
necessities.
your basic necessities, there's always something above that, which is your purpose. Like you start thinking about your purpose, what you want to do, and then it just started, my gears started turning in my head. And I was like, oh, what is my purpose? Like what am I supposed to do? Which was I learned about opportunity costs. It's like what's opportunity costs?
Yeah, what am I spending my time on when I could be doing something else? Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes. And then everything has a first and second and third effect, right? If you do something here, you're affecting two or three things that you don't even know. So when I learned about opportunity costs, I'm like, yo, I'm spending 16 hours a day staring at the abyss, not learning, not doing anything. And it's not really helping my future right now. So what can I do that can do all those things? And then I was like, okay, probably not doing this for 20 years might not be the best thing. So that's what kind of started it. And then that's how I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, a bunch of personal development books. And then yeah, once I got back from deployment, I started. So that's when I started like flipping phones, Craigslist. It taught me arbitrage. So arbitrage, basically you buy something for a certain amount, $10, but then you sell it for 20. So you're making $10 profit. And then I was like, okay, how can I do more of this? And then lo and behold, the algorithm got me on Instagram, and Mr. Ty Lopez was like, hey, you're in my garage, right? So he introduced me to e-commerce and digital marketing. So I didn't have a lot of money at that time. I saved almost every penny that I had. And then I was like, oh shoot, this thing's $1,000. I can't afford that. And I was like, maybe next time, right? But then he ended up coming out with like a scholarship program. Like write in your best story. If we like your story, you'll get a scholarship. And then I was like, oh, it's my chance. So I thought I had a pretty cool story about like me helping my parents and all that stuff. And then turned out that I was one of the winners, right? So they ended up calling me like, hey, you're actually one of the winners. So if you don't have to pay the $1,000, but we are gonna make you pay $100. I was like, in my head, I'm like, $100, that's a lot. Like now that I know, like it's not really a lot, right? For your future. It's like $100. Okay, yeah. And then they started explaining, if we give this to you for free, there's a 99.9% chance that you're not going to be successful. The reason is because the commitment that you had doesn't go to anything. You're not getting hurt. You have nothing to lose. But if $100 is all you have, then you have something to lose, and it's going to push you. And then my first year, I ended up making $5,000 on my digital marketing,
So,
which is not a lot, right? Because I also had to invest in stuff. So I actually ended up losing money, but it
okay.
gave me the first step to even take action. Because a lot of people, when they buy a course or something, they don't take action. Where we live in an information age, you can find all the stuff on there, but it's the action that makes a difference. So it forced me to take action, and then 3 years later, I built a six-figure business by 2020.
For those that don't know what digital marketing is, it's pretty much, you're going to Walmart. Hey, Walmart, if you pay me this in marketing, I will get you more customers. Pretty much kind of like that.
Yes. Yeah, I help small business owners
And then why didn't you? Because you made some money, obviously, due to your investment initially, it wasn't enough to kind of make it like turn a profit. So why didn't you want to continue digital marketing?
In 2020, I was making good money as an E5 BAH base pay, and then I also was getting paid by my six-figure business, right? It was great. I felt like I was on top of the world until there's this sickness going on in 2020. I wasn't too familiar with like the business space. What do you do like in a downturn like that? I had to shut down my business within like a month during that time because I already read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I saw there was an opportunity talking to the people that I'm surrounded with. They're like, "Yo, have you seen this real estate thing? Like what?" And then I looked at it myself. I'm like, "Yo, the inventory is super low, and interest rates are only 3%." So this is back in the beginning of 2020. I'm like, there's no way that the housing industry is going to go down just because that's ridiculous. No inventory and 3% interest rates. Okay, I started looking into it.
If you guys made it this far in the video and you guys are finding value out of it, please like the video and comment below so more people can see the video. And if you want premium content like full podcasts, step-by-step guides on how to do this stuff, and more, check out my Patreon.
Almost a six-figure check. So one of the strategies that I got $92,000 from, $30,000 to $50,000 in extra equity, just adding a. And then I'm like, yo, this could be a really good opportunity. So I started looking for properties. I ended up building out a team. So I had my real estate agent and my loan officer. That's pretty much all you need to start. And then we started looking for deals, got approved for a loan just because I had my E5 plus my stuff with my digital marketing company. So I got approved for 800 grand during that time. That was like the max that I could push, right? So luckily, I ended up finding an $800,000 duplex. So two single family homes on one lot in San Diego, which is unheard of right now. You cannot do that. That's 400 grand per house. And it was like each one was like one was 1,500 square feet. The other one was like 1,750. So it's unheard of. So I was listening to Bigger Pockets and I took some information from that. And then I ended up closing on the house in May of 2020, like April, May of 2020. And then I saw the potential that could happen. So one was, okay, I'm gonna make $300 living for free if I rented out the other unit, and some of my rooms were gonna be rented out as well. So I was like, is there another way that I could get more cash flow instead of $300? And then I found out about co-living. So I did my research, and then it's basically a rent by the room model. But then that got me from $300 in cash flow to $1,900 in cash flow in my pocket. So after all expenses and living for free. I was like, this is pretty cool. This real estate thing is pretty cool. Like it's now pretty passive. I had a property manager, even though I live there. And then I just saw my checks coming in. Plus, people are paying down my mortgage. So a lot of people don't know that when you pay down a mortgage, like a portion of that actually goes back into your pocket. So if your mortgage is $3,000, $500, $700 goes back into your pocket. So not only you're getting cash flow, but you're getting, $6,000, $8,000 back in your pocket at the end of the year just for that property. And then there's that. I found out about taxes. Like I didn't pay taxes that year because I got depreciation for my $800,000 house.
Oh, wow. Good.
Yeah. So after that, I ended up doing more work on it using the co-living model. So I built out some more rooms. In total, there's 10 rooms now on the property. In the beginning, there's only 6, so we added 4. That one property brings us roughly, just depending on on everything, but it's $180,000 a year.
You could pretty much just go to Bali and just freaking live off that, pretty much.
If I wanted to, yeah,
That's
definitely.
insane. Off of freaking what, just a little bit of first starting with Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then just going through the challenge of your digital marketing, and then just that's insane. Did you have a mentor going through all of this stuff?
I kind of wish that I had a mentor though, because man, I ended up getting scammed by 2 contractors. One of them just basically took, like, I didn't have that much money back then. Like 40,000 took me years to actually borrowed some of that money as well. I lost like $2,000-3,000 in like a down payment for a contractor. They showed up for 2 days, never heard from them ever again.
That's insane.
Yeah. So if I just knew from like a mentor telling me, hey, make sure you get a picture of their ID, make sure you get a picture of their license, like make sure X, Y, and Z. So yeah, I did wish that I could go back and pay that $3,000 that I lost in the first place to a mentor. Now I have a lot of mentors, man. That's really what helped me scale.
So how did it feel though to become a millionaire? Like what was going through your head when you realized like, holy shit, I'm a fucking millionaire?
For the longest time, I was tracking it. I was like, all right, I got cash here, I got assets here, my properties are worth this much. I'm like, all right, I'm at like 900,000. Like, man, I really want to get it. So I was definitely looking at my net worth during that time. But then once I finally hit it, man, it was like I did it. Yeah, it was hard, but it wasn't anything crazy. My confidence level, man, you walk into a room now, what's up?
You know who you talking to? I could. I mean, I probably already know your answer, but do you recommend joining the military personally?
Yes and no. It really depends on your situation. For me, I say that I'm lucky, you know, to be in the position that I'm in, to go through the challenges, and that challenge that led me to the military was a blessing for me, because without that, none of this would have happened. So it just depends on what your goals are, and if you want to do it for a country, that's great. If you want to do it for finance purposes, school, I know the military also helps with debt and paying off loans. So it just depends on your situation. But for me, it's probably one of the best decisions I've made. That's it, man.
Before you guys go, if you guys are inspired by Josh's story and you guys actually want to pursue it like me, you guys can actually work and learn from Josh and his team by clicking the link in the description below. You might even see me. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like the video and comment down, your story, what you want to do with your life, and like why you want to join the military. I'll see you guys in the next one.